Hello and welcome back to another video on the F1 Journal and to the Portuguese GP qualifying review, where Lewis Hamilton denied Valtteri Bottas with a last gasp pole. Lewis Hamilton seized pole position from Valtteri Bottas with a brilliant final lap in an exciting qualifying session that went to the wire in Portimao. A 90-second F1 victory for Hamilton on Sunday would see him take the record for the most Grand Prix wins outright 2 weeks after equalling Michael Schumacher's record. Hamilton had dropped to third behind Bottas and Max Verstappen midway through the last lap of Q3, but he kept going and was quicker than both of them. In the last run, a tenth clear of the sister Mercedes. Q1 broken heart for Valtteri Bottas, said Martin Brundle after the Finn had topped all three practice sessions, Q2 and the first runs of the pole shootout. Every lap he's been supreme. When it mattered most, Lewis Hamilton knitted it together beautifully. Out of keeping with the usual thinking in Q3, Mercedes switched cars to supposedly slower medium tyres for the final laps of the session and paid handsome dividends. The world champions have held an advantage of just a tenth of a second over Verstappen when they ran on a theoretically faster Q3 tyres, but their advantage grew on the mediums to lock out yet another front row. It was a 97th pole for Hamilton, who also perhaps crucially made the decision to go for 2 time laps on the final runs where Bottas only went for 1. I can't tell you how hard it was today, said Hamilton. Valtteri's been so quick this weekend, he topped every session, so I've just been digging and digging and digging. And Bottas admitted, I went for 1 lap, it was my decision as it worked well in Q2, but it was much better than doing 2 laps like Lewis did. Verstappen briefly held a front row position but was shuffled back to a familiar third, 2 tenths off the deficit to pole, which means Red Bull have closed the gap. The same is true for Ferrari and the informed Charles Leclerc, who got in within half a second to take 4th. Sergio Perez was 5th for Racing Point ahead of Alex Albon, who this weekend was effectively given 2 races by Red Bull to prove that he deserves to keep his seat, but he lapped nearly 5 tenths slower than Max Verstappen. McLaren locked out the 4th row with Carlos Sainz tenths ahead of Lando Norris on a day Renault appeared to underperform. Daniel Ricciardo made Q3 but did not take the end to the second phase where Esteban Ocon was knocked out. The second start qualifying was delayed by 30 minutes while officials worked to repair and check drain covers around the Algarve circuit after one of the turn 14 had worked its way loose in the earlier final practice session. Vettel had dislodged the curb after running out wide. Vettel went out to endure a fairly torrid quali session, with the 4-time champion, the slowest driver in Q2, starting 15th. With Leclerc continuing to start, Vettel has now missed out on Q3 for 8 consecutive races and trailed his teammate 10-2 in the qualifying head-to-head this year. Before I go, here is the overall classification. Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas and pole. Bottas will be gutted considering how dominant he's been this weekend. Hamilton just pulls out when it matters. I do think the chasing pack though will be happy they're that close. Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez both did great jobs. Albon, you'd have to say poor. Sainz and Norris, I think that's just about their pace. Gasly, I think definitely outperformed that car. Renault just don't have the pace this weekend, and I think Lance Stroll will be disappointed with his weekend so far, especially with a crash and looking how far he was off his teammate. I think the same could be said for Daniel Kvyat and Sebastian Vettel. George Russell, what a great job he did, and I just really hope he keeps his seat because that man deserves it. And then you've got the slow guys at the back, no surprise to see them there. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!